Good morning, dear Stitchers. It's Judy with JBW Designs, and I want to welcome you back to my Flosstube channel. This is episode number 100, which is quite a milestone, isn't it? I never thought when I started that I would ever get this far, and the people that I have to thank are all of you who take the time to watch, to write to me, to email me, to send letters, to write comments. Some of you have been with me the whole time. Some are brand new. I'm just grateful for every single one of you who have helped to make this something that I can continue with, because I really love doing it. I'm not sure why, but I think it's the connection that we have with each other about what we're working on or what we're worried about, and it's just a wonderful community. One of the most special that I've ever been a part of. So to honor this special occasion, I am planning to give away quite a few items this time, and I will post those along the way or at some point during the video, and I hope that you are one of the lucky winners. So as always, I have a kind of an outline of what I want to do today, and the first thing that I want to do is to show you some new products that I thought you might be interested in. So I have been working on new designs for the Nashville market in March, and I found a new site on a new website or a new site on Etsy. I'm getting my words all mixed up right now. Let me get some of this out of the way. And I'm so impressed with their products. In fact, one just came yesterday, and it's for one of the new releases. And I thought, oh, my viewers are definitely going to want to know about this site. I've actually ordered 2 frames from them, and I think their products are amazing. And I'll give you the name. The name of the company on Etsy is The Rusty Roof, R-O-O-F. And I will be sure to include that in my notes below so that you can check them out. So what I love about them is they have quite a few, I should have brought the second frame over, quite a few moldings that they carry, and in quite a few colors. And so I've ordered an 8x8, and that was too big for my project, so I went back and ordered a 6x6, and you should see the wrapping. It is phenomenal. I mean, the whole thing is wrapped in shrink wrap, and then it's wrapped in bubble wrap. It is, and the price is so reasonable for what you get. So this is what I ordered, and let's see, let me see if I can tell you. This is called the Distressed Walden, and it's in navy blue, and as I say, it comes in so many colors, and you'll see like on the back that I'll be able to take out this backing board and mount my design on this, and it will be very easy to finish it. And then there's a hook on the back for hanging. So I just thought, I'm sorry my light is in the way there, that their products were wonderful and that you might be interested in, because there's such a wide range to choose from. I'm trying to set this down quietly, in size and in colors. So I will make sure I list that later. The next product, actually I was getting ready to put photos in these for stocking gifts, and I thought, oh, I should mention this again to my viewers. I think one of our viewers has actually showed us pictures in the past, but I buy these tiny little frames at Michael's, and they come in, like 8 or 10 different not moldings, but surrounding pieces. So this one is a little plaid one. I'm going to put photos in here, but what works really well in these tiny frames, they're 2 inches square, is my little ornaments that come from my ornament booklets. And that's what one of our viewers had done. She had put her stitched ornament inside of this, and they're very easy. You can see on the back to open. They just have these little clips that hold everything in place. And then this is the second one that I purchased. so you can see what that one looks like. So as I say, they have all kinds of finishes. It's called Studio Decor, and as I say, you might want it for a stocking gift, you might want it for an ornament. And then the third idea that I have is something that I was walking through my office yesterday getting ready to set everything up for today, and I came across this paperweight that a friend had made for me, and I thought, oh, I've got to put that downstairs with all my Christmas decor because this is one of my favorite things. And so what she did is, in fact, we were on kind of a kick for a while of finding antique glass paperweights, and of course they come in all different sizes. And so this is one that we found at an antique store. We just took the back off of it, and then she mounted it just as you probably can't see in here, but she actually just cut it to size to the back and then put a felt backing on the back of it. And this is an alphabet that she chose out of one of her alphabet books, but I just love the finish. I just think it's so interesting and different, especially if you're looking for something. You could put someone's initials in there. Maybe you could find a round one and just do a single initial, but I love that idea for finishing. So my next segment here is going to be about pictures that our viewers have been posting. And these actually appear in a number of places. I can find them on my, they're on my Friends of JBW Designs page. That's where I get some of them. Some are posted on the viewers' Instagram page, and it pops up and they have noted me in the notes below, so I see their finish, which is just great. If you see a finish, let me know, because it's so much fun to see what people have done. And then the other thing is that sometimes people just send me an email and they'll say, oh, Judy, look what I just did. So these are the ones that I've gotten just in the last few weeks. I forgot to tell you when I started. This is December 10th, 2025, and I live in the southwest corner of Michigan. It's kind of a snowy, a gray day. We get lots of gray days. And I was supposed to go to the health club this morning, and I was so worried about our driveway. We're the last house in a subdivision, and it's like a mile from the start to the finish. And then on top of that, we live on top of a hill, and so to get down to the street, it's quite windy. And I thought, I am not going out. The driveway looks so icy because it was just that temperature, and either I would run into a tree or the barn on the way down. So I have all these errands to run, but I don't think it's going to happen today. So anyhow, let's move on. Sorry, I had thought of that. What was I doing today, right? So the first one that came in was from Heidi. And you can see, here I'll try to hold it up nice and close, that she finished the Joyeux Noel pattern into a pillow. And she has a little white rickrack trim on it. And I just thought the finish was darling. And I've showed you this pattern before. It's one of my older ones. It came out in 2017. And what I did today, my theme today is going to be some of my favorite Christmas designs. So you can see on the table behind me that I've pulled out quite an array of models. And some of them you may have seen before, some it may have been a while. So I will be doing that in the next segment. So the next one that came in was, let's see, I pulled out some things that actually I don't need here. All right, let me get organized, right? So the next one that I want to show you, I should have taken a screenshot, but I didn't think of it. But I was watching Laura with Laura and the Serial Stitcher the other day, and she actually did a Flosstube video all by herself, which was really cool. And she promised that she and Brenda would do one next weekend. But in the meantime, I was watching what she was going to work on. She's into Christmas, of course, right now. And bless her heart, she pulled out this one. She said, I'm thinking I'm going to do this Christmas tree bauble, and she's thinking of doing it in green. And I think that would be just stunning. So, Laura, I hope you get that finished and we get to see it someday. So the next one that came in, again, was an older pattern, and this was from Michelle. And I'll try to hold it up close so you can see it. What I love about it is that it's Reindeer ABCs, and I'll show you the booklet in a minute. But she framed this, and I think I could tell from her picture, Michelle, if you watch, you'll have to let me know, that it's actually mounted like above, like a fireplace or something. I just thought it was stunning. I loved her frame and her finish. And so again, this is an older one. This came out 12 years ago. It is still in print, and this is what Reindeer ABCs look like. Let's see if I can get you the whole picture. Okay, here we go. So the picture at the top here is the Reindeer ABCs, and this was part of a series. And I had ABCs in Christmas trees, which has just been reprinted. This one I am so sorry about. I got an email yesterday from a gal who was looking for this design, and it was called the Great Pumpkin Alphabet, and it was part of this series. Well, the problem is that to print this one, I don't know why I printed it this way, and I don't know if it could be redone in another manner, is that this one is so long that it had to be custom printed on a sheet of paper that was about 2 feet long, and then folded and put in an envelope. And it was so costly to print. And I just don't get enough orders to warrant reprinting it at this point. But I'm going to make a plea. If any of you happen to have that pattern, I would love to buy it from you and send it to this gal that wrote to me, because I have not been able to find it, even in the secondary market. So if you know of anybody that has it, let me know. I'd appreciate it. So again, this is Reindeer ABCs. That was from Michelle. The next one was so much fun. This one this is Christmas in the Round, and this was sent to me by Pat B. Hi Pat. She and I have known each other for years, and she was a member of EGA here in Kalamazoo. Her work has always been outstanding. She moved away. She moved to the other side of the state, but I'm just so tickled that she did one of my pieces. I did it originally in red. I can show you what the pattern looks like. Actually, I have another model to show you today too, but Pat chose to do it in a green over one, and she made a beautiful tassel. So that was fun to get that in the mail. And then this one, let's see if I can find my notes here. Oh, did I write on it? Oh my goodness, no. Darn it all. Usually I write on the back and tell who did it. I'm sorry. I will have to give you credit next time. But I love her finish. So what did she finish? So she took one of the designs from Baby's First Christmas, and it was a stocking, and she finished it as a tiny little pillow with red cording. But what I really loved is on the back, she wrote the date and did a little holly and a candy cane, and she's giving this as a gift to, I believe, a grandchild. So this is what the booklet looks like. Let me put these down. It has 3 designs in it. It's still in print. This is an older one too, even older, believe it or not. And it just has a gingerbread boy, a rocking horse, and a stocking. So that one is still available. And then the last one, this actually I think appeared on a gal that I follow on Facebook. Her name is Angelique, and she does beautiful work. I'm just so impressed with the things that she posts. So the fun thing is that she posted that she had started my antique vase sampler. And she posts every few days to show progress on it. You can see she's up here at the top with the alphabet, and this is what the booklet looks like. And that too is still available, even though it's one of the older ones. All right, so now I need to make room for the next topic. So I don't know, it just came to me. I love that song, these are a few of my favorite things. And I thought, oh, that would be wonderful to do for a Christmas episode. So I'm going to be pulling items from my table back here. It will be awkward at times, I'm sure, because I have so many books, but I don't think I have them in order. I tried to do a pretty display, but then I just pulled all the books that are in that display. So I'm going to kind of lay these out here and hope that I can find what I need when I pull out the model. So this is kind of let's see, oh, I have so many. I think I've got like 15 different things here. So let's get started. So let's pull out the one that's closest here. And actually, all right, now that the job is, all right, where did I put that book? Okay, here it is. All right, so this one is Dashing Through the Snow. And the funny thing about this, I often do this, as you know, is that I did 3 different models of this design. So I did it on white, in white, on a red linen. I think it's a 28 count over 1. And then I'm going to pull back here. And you're going to have to hope that I don't knock anything over in this whole process. It's a very shaky arrangement, isn't it? So this is another model of that very same design. And I always think it's so interesting to see it stitched in one colorway and then stitched in a second colorway. And I believe, let's see if I can put this down here. This could be shaky. Without it falling over. I think in the booklet, yeah, I did it in another colorway. I did it in blue on white. So I just thought you'd love seeing one design worked in several different ways. So here is this is on a polka dot fabric from Zweigart, I believe. It's worked in red on a tan background. I love the way it looks because it simulates snow. And then of course here is the same design worked in white on red. So it's just such an interesting contrast. So that's the first of my favorite things. You can see I'm going to be reaching every which way. All right, let's pull out 2 that are closer. And I just showed you one of the patterns. These are new patterns that just came out in August. And this is the Christmas Tree Bauble. It's mounted on a wooden disc that I carry if you're interested in it. It was unpainted, so I just spray paint it whatever color I need for the design. And the Christmas Tree Bauble booklet, let's see if I can pick it up here, looks like this. Let's get this organized. All right. So here's the booklet, and here is the design. And it's quite small, so it's very easy to stitch. It's probably hard for you to see, but I put tiny little beads in the background, also to simulate snow falling on the trees. So that's the Christmas Tree Bauble. And then, of course, there's a second one called the Reindeer Bauble. All right, let's get these in order. So here's the booklet for that one. Of course, you could stitch it in any colorway that you like. And again, it has the beads in the background behind the lettering. And the beads start just below the bow and just go to right above where the reindeer are. So that's another one of my favorites. All right, let's choose another one that's close so I don't knock things over. This is another design that came out in August, and it was called Merry Christmas. I love the font of this particular alphabet, and I always have to kind of press this down because it's covering the design a little bit, all of my little accoutrements. And it was worked. I've done 2 versions of this also, and so I'll have. Did I do 2? My brain is just shut down completely. Let's look in the booklet. I usually do. Yeah, Yes, I did. Oh, it's frightening, isn't it? So I did this in a wooden box from Chantelle's 141. And I just love how this finish looks. You can see the box looks like this. It's actually, it comes in flat in pieces, and you can paint it. And it's very easy to assemble. It's basically the back, two side pieces, and the front here. And so after it was all painted, I just had to assemble it. And then I mounted my design on the back tall board. I found a wonderful rickrack, and I've forgotten. Let me see if I can get the source of that. The rickrack is from Lady Dot Creates, and it's the color Algae. And then I added a little silk ribbon with a silver bell here. And I just love, I love using those kinds of finishes that can make your design look different from maybe something that you've done in the past. And you could use this with any of your horizontal finishes, of course. And so the second design that I did of this was over one, and I finished it as a little pillow. And let's see, what did I do for the trim? I think I used, no, I take that back. This was finished by one of the finishers at Color and Cotton. And did I put that in here? Oh dear. I don't think I did, because they are dyeing rickrack also. I'll have to go back and look at my notes, because I had the finisher do it for me, and she chose a rickrack that they had in their stock. And it's just a darling little tiny horizontal pillow. So what shall I choose next? All right, let's grab these. This design is called Be Merry. And you know I love doing several finishes of a single design. So this one was finished by a professional. I think it just looks beautiful, but it gives you an idea of how to finish things also. So the design actually was trimmed with an antique lace trim, mounted on a Christmas fabric on a board that was padded, and you can see the lining on the front. You can also see that she used a separate board for the backing, and then probably sewed or glued those two together. She added a cording in red and white, looks like a candy cane, it's so effective, and then added a little bow up here in the corner. So this is going to hang on one of my cupboards downstairs. And then let me show you what the booklet looks like. So this is the Be Merry booklet. Let's see what else we can show you in here. Well, I can show you the second model because this was so much fun. I always wanted to do a drum. And so this is just the Merry design because it just works so well for a drum. You can see it all the way around here. The finish on this is absolutely exquisite. It is a dark green velvet that's been padded at the top. She added a silk bow. I had a darling little strawberry that I found, a silk strawberry I found at an antique store that I added to that. And I don't know if you can see it. There's a little, let's see if I can push that aside. There's a little silver snowflake there. I just love how that looks and how cute that looks on a little shelf at Christmas time. So that is the Be Merry design, and this is what the booklet looks like. All right, some of these things I can put back here. All right, let's grab this one. By the time I'm done, that table behind me is going to look mighty bare, but that's okay. So this one is called Fleur de Noel, and it came out just, I think, a year ago. My goal in doing this design, you know how much I love alphabets, is that I wanted to make it look Christmassy, but I wanted, so I did a lot of wreaths in this. Here's one with just leaves. Here's another complete round one. There's a little wreath here that forms a heart. There's a tiny wreath up here, another one here. You can see how many I tried to include in the design. Now this one was also worked in two colorways. On the cover of the booklet, you'll know that it's worked in a kind of a real pretty dark pink and pale pink, and this one is worked in 2 shades of green. So the first one was actually finished as a pillow, and it looks so sweet because it too has a little silk ribbon bow up at the top with a little silver charm. And then this one I just framed. Now the interesting thing about this pattern is that Holly with Mrs. Jones Stitches looked at this and said, you know, I see a spring design. So she changed the colors to lovely pastel colors. It is beautiful. You should go to check out her videos. She showed it probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, but it just turned out so nicely, and it was just fun to see it in a different colorway. So let's hope that that didn't do anything awful here, because you know I often click on something and my videos go kerplunk. So we don't want that to happen today. All right, this is another very old design, but again, one of my favorites. This is called French Country Wreath, and I'm sure like all of the French country designs, I must have had such a good time taking motifs that fall into the Christmas category and having them fit into a round shape. And I think I did 2 models of this too. I'll open up the book and check it out. But this has quite a few motifs in it. There's a Christmas tree and hearts and a dove and a sleigh, several reindeer, another dove, a stocking. I put my initial, our last initial, in here. There's a heart, more trees. But I just love how it turned out, and the finish, the gal that finished it just did a fabulous job. So she added a beautiful large tassel to the bottom of it. She mounted it on probably a comic board base with padding and put cording around the edges, and then she, for her backing board, she actually, instead of covering it, let's see if I can explain this to you. So she would have covered it, and I've done this before too. So she would have put her fabric on the back and pulled it through to the front. I don't know if you can see that, but it's almost a pleated. If you do that, if you pull your fabric through to the front like that and kind of pinch it like this, it forms like a pleated look around the edges. And then she just added a twisted cording for the hanger. So I just love the finish on this. It is one of definitely my favorites. So the other thing that I did, if I look at the cover of the book, we find the answer. I also did it over 2 with red on white and framed it. So there are 2 ideas for you there. All right, what should we pull out next? This is the one. Did I show you this already? I don't think so. No, I'm sorry, I didn't. This one is called O'er the Fields We Go. And I finished this, so we know that you can all do it yourselves. I always try to encourage you to tackle your own finishing. I found a piece at Hobby Lobby, and this was a couple years ago, so I don't know if I gave you the SKU number that it would help, but it was just a wooden piece. It had something else painted on the front, but I knew I was going to cover the front, and it was about the right size. So I just spray painted this box, and what I love about it is it can sit on a table. Then I did a couple of steps to do the mounting. So first I would have mounted my design on comic board with batting behind it, and then I would have done a second board for this backing board and just glued that first to the board. Then I would have glued the top piece, the design, but I have a little hint for how to do the rickrack, and I don't know if I learned this from someone else. I probably did. I don't think I invented it myself. But if instead of trying to take your rickrack and bend it around the edges, you know what happens to rickrack? It kind of gets goofy. If you try to bend it around the edge, it wants to curl towards the top. But if you cut it in pieces, just the exact length of the width and the height of your piece. Then you can glue it just behind this. I think I glued the rickrack to the top design before I mounted it on the backboard. And then I could do another single piece along the edge, the base, and this edge. And it just gives such a clean look to the whole piece. This design was made up of antique reindeer motifs, trees, and then there's an alphabet that you can see that kind of runs through the base of the design. And these are all borders that were taken from antique samplers. So this design also appears in 2 different colorways. Did I pull the pillow for this? Whoops. I hope you're laughing. I'm a little clumsy today. So I did it not only in this colorway, red on white, but I also did it, let's see if I can set this down, white on red, and finished it just as a little pillow. And just used a fun Christmas fabric for the backing. And let me show you what O'er the Fields We Go looks like. So on the cover of the book, you see the finished design over 1 on red. But on the inside of the book, let's see if I can show you. I can show you this part. It shows you the other model that I just displayed for you, the red on white. And then as I'm looking at my booklet, and I don't know where this model is. That is a good question. So I'm going to kind of put my hand over it because this is part of the chart. You can see I also stitched it in green on a white fabric. So there are many choices for you to choose. And if you've done one of these yourself, I'd love to have you send me a picture of it. So let's set this here and that there, and let's grab this one. So, all right. It's hard to get everything in order, isn't it? All right, this, as I showed you before, is Christmas in the Round. We saw it finished as an ornament over 1. Now this is another way to finish it. And this is a sign, joy sign, let me show you the whole thing, that I bought at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago. I think they had it last year. I'm not sure if they still carry it, but what I liked about it, I'll show you the back of it, is that it was the perfect size. I think I stitched it on a 32 count. And it was the perfect size to mount on the front of this. And you can see I just put a pretty lining fabric on the back and added a few leaves and berries on the front. And then just did a twisted cording for the trim. And this too has been finished in a couple different ways. So this is what Christmas in the Round looks like. One time I was able to find a plaque at Hobby Lobby that had this darling wreath on it. So I just covered what was in the center with the design. And I'm almost positive that that is worked over too, also on a 32 count. So that is Christmas in the Round. Let's set that one down. All right, let's reach for these two. These, as I love the look of white on red. And you know this, you watch me, and you're probably going, oh, Judy. But I just think it's stunning. I just love the look of it. So I'm going to show you 2 older designs, which you may have seen in the past. This is Joyeux Noel. And again, it can be worked the opposite way. You've seen models where the red is on white and it's equally as striking. This is what the booklet looks like for that one. And then I've also done Tidings of Joy. And this is what the Tidings of Joy looks like. Here's the opposite colorway, the red on white. And then do I have the old Christmas tree out here? Yes, I do. The funny thing is, I just set this in here upside down. That's okay. All right, I just have a couple more to share with you. This is O Christmas Tree, the same kind of theme. I love doing the reindeer and the Christmas trees, but each design is a little different. All right, I think I only have one more to share with you. And again, this was an older design. It is still in print. This is called Santa's Sleigh Ride, and this was finished in a frame from Classic Colorworks. They have a frame division, which is just fabulous. I think if you go on their website, they'll probably give the link to it. I think that both Diane with Little House Needleworks, who owns Classic Colorworks, and her daughter, who is Country, I think it's Country Needleworks, often use their frames because they have the most beautiful moldings on them. And this design, as I said, is quite old. It was stitched 14 years ago, designed 14 years ago. It was stitched on a 28 count linen, antique white opalescent. And as I say, back then the company that made the fibers was called Classic, let's see, what was it called? Crescent Colors. But now, of course, it's Classic Colorworks. So I've always loved the design. It has a few little charms in it. I have a little stocking here, and a little bell on the reindeer's neck. It has a little metallic threads in here too. So that is the end of my favorite things portion of this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been fun for me to share it with you. And let's put this in some kind of order back here. And now I'm to the part I am most excited about. So I have pulled out 10 different things from my collection of publications and kits, etc., that I thought I need to honor all of you who watch, that I would pick out 10 items. And I'm going to do it a little differently this time. I usually just pull names from comments, but this time I'm going to say to you, if you make a comment and want one of the prizes, say I would like, and you can just name the numbers that you want, and I will list these in my notes below so you don't get confused, which we know is easy to do these days, right? So number 1 is going to be my newest Ornament Collection booklet. This is Christmas Ornament 6. It has 20 designs in it, and I'm happy to mail this. I will not be mailing to Canada or overseas. I'm finding that getting packages there is just so difficult right now, and I'm so sorry about that because usually I do that. All right, so number 2 for the prizes is going to be, let me take this off here, and I showed these last week, I believe. This is, oh, I didn't pull the right books. That's okay. You'll be patient with me. So this is the collection of 4 different booklets that makes up the 12 Days of Christmas designs. So I would send you all 4 booklets for prize number 2. So we'll set that aside. Prize number 3 is a beautiful set of pins that was given to me by the Jersey Girl Stitch Company. I thought, oh, this would be a lovely Christmas gift for my viewers. The ones that I pulled are called Lena's pins, and actually I'm giving away the kit that these went with, but any Christmas design that has red on it, like my little drum pillow that I showed you, these would look beautiful because you can see they're a beautiful deep red and silver. So that is prize number 3. Prize number 4 is a kit that came out a couple years ago. It's called Ode, well, let me show you the picture of it first. It's called Ode to Red. It really almost looks like a Valentine design to me, but I give the complete instructions and all of the pieces that you need to construct this kit. So the fabric is in there, the floss for the cording, not the floss for the design, the ribbon, the little pearl pin. Let's see what else is in here. The linen, it's a 32 count linen, 2 ribbons, and the booklet, etc., and the comic board. So that is Ode to Red. That's the 4th design. And incidentally, all these products I'm showing you are still available. So if it's something that you don't win and you want in the future, just send me an email. The next pattern and finishing piece I want to give away is the Christmas in the Round design. And I'm also going to give away a white wooden disc that this could be mounted on. So that's prize number 5. All right. Prize number 6 is a booklet that I talked about last week. It is called the Sing-a-Song of Christmas Stockings. And this booklet actually has, let me show you the back of it, has 15 different stockings in it. They're all based on Christmas songs or hymns. And in this prize, I'm also going to include, let me take this off here, all of the charms that go with the stockings that call for charms. Not all of the stockings call for charms, but I thought that would be a nice addition to this prize number 6. Let me set that over here. All right. Prize number 7 is also a Christmas design. It was done a long time ago. It's called, excuse me, it's called the Advent Calendar. And you could do them as separate little ornaments. They're very small. They're probably only 2 inches square. So that's prize number 7. Prize number 8 is a design that I showed you today, and that's the antique vase sampler, which is based on an antique that I bought years ago that was done in the Netherlands. One of my very favorites. Prize number 9 is just such a neat kit. I only have a few of these left, but I designed this for the Nashville Market a few years ago, and the gal that finishes it works at Keepsakes in Ohio, and she did just a fabulous job. So this is what the piece looks like. It's based on an antique alphabet sampler that I had in my collection, but it includes, let me show you the back, all of the fabric for finishing, the velvet, the rickrack, a silk ribbon, the linen, a beautiful print fabric that was used on the back of the pillow. It just turned out so well. So that is prize number 9. I have just a few of those left in stock. And then the last prize today to celebrate 100 is the Petite Christmas Cottages booklet. And I showed this a week or so ago. These are all tiny little houses that are mounted on a little wooden house shape. And I am going to include not only the booklet, but all of the 3 wooden houses in that prize number 10. So I hope you've taken notes while you were watching today, and I'm so grateful for you all. So the last, okay, let me put some things away here. I just have a few family updates to tell you about. So our Thanksgiving was great. We just had such a nice time together. Everybody was here, or actually we were at my daughter's house, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. We did puzzles and played games, etc. And then, let's see what else. Oh, last weekend we went to do our annual tree cutting. And we're lucky in Michigan because we have quite a few tree farms nearby. Sometimes all of us go, sometimes not everybody. Last weekend, not everybody could make it. You know, they have busy lives. So we did have fun. We found a tree, brought it back, and there are a lot of parts to that day. We have hot chocolate when we get back. I always have a puzzle out because I have quite a few grandchildren who love to do puzzles, and other family members. We decorated the tree, which was fun. Our 2-year-old granddaughter, Nevaeh, was quite enchanted with the whole thing, and she found a little stool in the house that I have in the kitchen, and we brought that over, and she just sits down in front of the tree. So I thought I'd share a picture of Nevaeh with you. This was a week ago. She and her mom, you can see her mom Kylie up here, we all went to watch my granddaughter Ellie play basketball, and she was quite enchanted with it. She watched for a long time. She knew who Ellie was. She could spot her. It was really cute, but that only lasted so long. So the rest of the time she was up climbing in the bleachers, finding things that people had left behind, like volleyballs and badminton, shuttles, etc. It was quite funny. So Nevaeh is turning 2 in the next week, and we're having her mom and dad Our grandson Wyatt and Kylie are having a party for her on Sunday. And then the last event that we have before Christmas is I still bake cookies with all of my grandchildren. And they're so cute. They want to come, so I have to find a date. I'm running out of time. We only have 2 weeks left. So hopefully that will take place sometime in the next 2 weeks. I have to wait for everybody to get home. So I have a quotation that I want to share with you to close up the video. This is one of my longest ones. And thank you if you've stayed with me the whole time. But my theme this year has been kindness. And I found this quotation and it was so appropriate because I wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas. But I also know that there are a lot of people in our world and in our group here who don't have family nearby, or they're struggling with health issues or other things that are going on in their lives. And so I want to recognize that we see you and we want you to know that we're thinking about you. So I'm going to take a quick sip of tea and then read this quotation. It just fits for today. Be extra kind to people this holiday season. Go out of your way to compliment them. You never know what they're going through this time of year. And sometimes you will say something really small and simple, but it will be just enough to fill their heart and mind with hope. And that's what we want to do, isn't it? So thank you so much. If you need to contact me, you can always email me, judy@jbwdesigns.com. That's the best way. My email, my Instagram account is judy.whitman. I have a Friends of JBW Designs Facebook page, and that is quite active and people post often. We get new members every week or so, so thank you for joining. My website is still under construction, so hopefully before I get to video 200, if I'm still around, we will have a website I can refer you to, but at the moment it's a work in progress. So thank you everyone, and sending holiday wishes to you all. I just am so appreciative. So I will end and see you in a couple weeks. Bye-bye.